Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode of our WWE 2K16 Universe Mode. Now, this is going to be our next episode of NXT, and a very interesting one as well, as we have a couple of debuts for you. And here is two of the debuts. We're going to start things off with the Mechanics, a team that a lot of people out there have been asking for quite a while now, including the likes of Tony Wilson, of course, and Jay Freeman as well. We've been asking for the Mechanics for quite a while. I finally managed to find them with movesets and entrances and already all set up to go, so that should be pretty good. They're going to be taking on the Vaudevillains, and that is going to be a #1 contendership match for the NXT Tag Team titles. In match number 2, we're going to see Biff, Busick and Johnny Gargano go at it. Match number 3, we're going to see a debut here for James Storm, of course, a casual member of NXT, not an official signed member as of yet, so thought I'd bring him in just to give him a little trial and see how he gets on. We're going to see Sasha Banks taking on Asuka. We're going to see Sami Zayn taking on Finn Balor. We've got a Fatal 4-Way match as Baron Corbin takes on Rhino, Apollo Crews and Rich Swan. And then in our main event, as discovered last week, Tyler Breeze will defend his television championship against Tyson Kidd. So without further ado, let's hit up our first match. Who uses the word hit up? That's a terrible phrase. But anyway, here is our first match. It's the Vaudevillains versus the Mechanics in an NXT Tag Team Championship #1 contendership match. So here we go. And I think this is Dash Wilder in the ring. I must admit, I'm a little bit confused between which ones are which. I'm pretty sure this is Dash Wilder in the ring. Scott Dawson on the outside. And a great addition here to our tag team division, the Mechanics. A very old school style tag team. Really like to use a lot of old fashioned tag team sort of ways, sort of like cutting the ring off and things like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see them join up into our NXT tag team roster. It's really going to help us improve our tag team division. Thinking about it, there's not a lot of teams knocking around at the moment. We've got the Vaudevillains, we've got Enzo and Cass. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. I'm going to try and move back into the main roster. And who else we got? We've got Gargano and Ciampa, who are, for me, are not a proper team as such. I think they're just a team that's been put together because of just basically to help bring in and put other teams over. But hopefully that's not going to be the case for too long. Got the Lucha Dragons. I think that's about all I can think of, really. I'm sure there must be more. Dawson in firm control here of Aiden English. Dawson just launching. That's not Dawson. That's Wilder. That's Dash Wilder. Handily, because it's got DW written on his trunks. Don't know why I'm getting these two mixed up. I must admit I've not seen NXT in a while. With recording all these episodes, I've just not had a chance to really watch any wrestling myself, really. I've not watched the end of Lucha Underground from last year yet. I've not watched NXT TakeOver London yet. I've not watched any of the last 2 WWE pay-per-views either, so I'm really not doing very well at the moment watching my wrestling. Aiden English now stalking Dash Wilder on the outside, brings him back up to his feet. Has him in the front chancery and throws him straight into the barricade. Barricade or the barrier? I was like in the middle of both of them or something. And English now continues to take Dash Wilder out on the outside. Referee's up to a 6 count, and Aiden English just still attacking Dash Wilder on the outside. I thought he was going to try and win this one by count out, but he run back into the ring and back out to break the referee's count. He wants to win this properly. Referee again up to a 4 count, and Aiden English again still attacking Wilder on the outside, but Wilder breaks free and catches English with that backdrop and slides back into the ring himself. And now Wilder brings Scott Dawson into the match as the legal man. Aiden English now catching Dawson in the backbreaker. Who's going to become the #1 contender here for the NXT Tag Team Championships? Oh, massive clubbing blow there by Scott Dawson. Gets caught though with the dragon screw. Big chop there by Simon Gotch. Simon Gotch is someone I'd like to see do a bit more in this universe mode, and Aiden English as well. I think both of these could really be involved at some point in the TV Championship or something along them sort of lines. So that's something we could definitely have a look at doing. English now just throwing Scott Dawson over the top of his head. Dawson now bringing Aiden English over to the Mechanics corner, and like I said, they like to really cut the ring into two halves and really take control of the match and their opponent, but Aiden English able to break free. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Dawson just seems to be walking into the turnbuckle and nothing seems to be really working that well. Big boot to the stomach there by Dash Wilder. Dash Wilder now with a shin breaker on Aiden English. Clever move. There's the pin. 1, 2. It's only a 2 count. Wilder now just dropping his entire body weight onto the gut of Aiden English, now bringing English back up to his feet. Spins him round. And there's a full Nelson slam. In for the pin he goes. 1. And he nearly had it, as Dawson did a great job of taking Simon Gotch out of the equation. And he nearly had that there and then. There's the lung blower there by Dash Wilder. In for the pin he goes on Aiden English. This could be all 2 and 3. And there you go. The Mechanics are the #1 contenders to the NXT Tag Team Championships. They have defeated the Vaudevillains here. Great tag team work and really showing just that they really do deserve a place on this roster. I don't know why it's taken me so long to get a hold of them. See Dash Wilder using the shin breaker, and he went for the pin from the well, went for a pin here as well. Of course, that was only enough for a 2 count. He did then go on to hit the full. Oh, he dropped his entire body weight onto the stomach of Aiden English, then brought him back up and took him up into the full Nelson, like so. Went for the pin there, but that was not enough, even though Scott Dawson did a great job of taking Simon Gotch out of the equation. But there you go, there's the lung blower. Dawson was on the outside with Simon Gotch, and that allowed Dash Wilder to pick up the 3 count. So the Mechanics will get themselves a tag team championship shot at Enzo. Is it Enzo and Cass still? You know what, my mind's gone completely blank today. I'm sure it's Enzo and Cass. No, it's not. It's Gable and Jordan, isn't it? Chad Gable and Jason Jordan are the tag team champions. So, Wilder and Dawson will get an opportunity at them very, very soon. What a great debut for the Mechanics. And here's our next match. It's going to be Biff Busick making his first appearance on NXT television as he takes on Johnny Gargano. And here we go, Biff Busick making his first appearance on NXT TV. And it might also be Johnny Gargano's first appearance on NXT television as well. I think Gargano made his debut as part of that Fatal 4-Way at the TakeOver Arrival pre-show. Big uppercut here by Biff Busick. And now I have got another new Biff Busick since that. I've downloaded the one made by Die Hard Detroit. I really do recommend, if you're on the PlayStation, to go and check him out. He's got some really good indie wrestler cores, and I do have quite a few of them. Clubbing blow across the back there by Busick, and now a massive drop kick as well, right to the face of Johnny Gargano. See Busick just launching Johnny Gargano into the apron and slides back into the ring. Referee is counting up still. He's up to a 7 count as Gargano slides back into the ring. And of course, Gargano has still got work in Global Force Wrestling as well at the moment, until the official signing is made by NXT. That's where he'll stay. Biff Busick has officially been signed, as well as, of course, Rich Swan to WWE. That's why those two are now solely just on our NXT roster, and hopefully we'll use them a bit more now. What I have done, I did make the suggestion last week, and it was backed up by, I think it was Mike, so thank you very much, Mike, for your suggestion. What I did say was is move in the guys like Cesaro, Neville, Kevin Owens, all back up to work again, back on the main roster, only because they were sort of clogging up some of the top spaces on the roster, and I wanted to try and make sure we got the full use of everybody. And since we have moved them back into the main roster, we have been able to bring guys like Busick, Gargano, we've got James Storm, we've got the Mechanics, we've got Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Rhino, Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, Rich Swan, all on the same card together, which is pretty good. And of course, the likes of Cesaro and Kevin Owens and Neville are all doing big things on the main roster anyway, so it seems pointless to use them on both shows simultaneously. It would have been nice to boost up our rosters and beef them up a little bit, but we don't really need to. We've got enough top level names on NXT to really do that for us, and especially after our first and our only retro roster pay-per-view next weekend, we're gonna have a lot more. We're gonna have a lot more feuds in NXT, because they are going to be having a pay-per-view every single month, which is going to be pretty damn good. Because people like Hideo Itami has held that NXT Championship now for quite a chunk of time. He's held it since the very beginning. He defended it once against Cesaro, and I'm thinking we might have to make him defend that once again, maybe even at Payback coming up. It seems a little bit pointless to wait out and make him defend it at the next pay-per-view, because that's going to mean he would have held the belt then for about 3 months or 2 months. It'd be 3 months, I think, wouldn't it? Have to wait and see what happens, I suppose. Busick now with a front chancery on Gargano, then locks in the armbar. Suplex there by Biff Busick on Johnny Gargano. Now Busick bringing Gargano back up to his feet, and Busick could really be a big addition to this NXT roster, and the best thing is the tire actually matches it. 1, 2, 3, and Gargano picks it up out of nowhere. Gargano rolls Busick up for the quick victory, and a very interesting win here for Johnny Gargano. That's, again, is going to be an interesting development. Again, both these guys could really be going in for that top championship here in NXT at some point, maybe even the television championship as well. So a big win here for Gargano, and I will let you into a little bit of a secret, is that Biff Busick is actually rated higher than Gargano on this game at the moment. That's a big win, that is, for Gargano. I was not expecting that, I must admit. And a great win from Gargano. It was a nice cheeky little roll up, because I think, whoa, where did that sound come from? It was a quick sort of roll up there by Gargano, and it was perfectly done. perfectly done out of nowhere, picks up the victory, and that's what you get from them cheeky little roll-ups. You never know your luck. And here you see, look, just casually catches Busick and rolls him up. A very difficult one for Busick to kick out of as well. And Johnny Gargano is victorious. Great win here for Gargano. Like I said, the NXT title and the NXT Television Championship are definitely going to be in his grasp at some point. And here we see another debut this evening as James Storm comes in for his first match in NXT as he takes on Zack Ryder. And here we go, James Storm's first appearance on NXT. So it's going to be an interesting one. How can James Storm really show off here in NXT? Like I said, he's not officially been signed. It's a bit like the Johnny Gargano situation. We're going to use him very loosely in NXT. Bring him in for a couple of matches here and there. Ooh, I don't know what happened there to James Storm. Bring him in for a couple of matches here and there and see how he gets on. But I think until something official is said, whether James Storm's signing or not, that's when we'll do it more officially. I think there's another NXT set of tapings coming up pretty soon. And with the likes of... who was there last time? Austin Aries was there, Gunner was there, James Storm was on the show as well. So I'm thinking maybe soon we might hear some other news about maybe some other people maybe joining up. Maybe joining up and getting involved in NXT. And I think Austin Aries would be an absolute fantastic one to be involved. I think he is really one of the top wrestlers in the entire world, and I really think that he would really put on some fantastic matches with the likes of Sami Zayn and Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, Kevin Owens, all those sort of guys, and I'd really love to see Austin Aries in there. I don't know how old Austin Aries is, but I know he's been going for a long time. I think he was originally in TNA in like 2005 or something. Was he Austin Starr or something like that? He was doing this dodgy sort of gimmick, but I really would like to see him as part of NXT, and of course going on to the main roster. But I really think he has everything to really succeed on the main roster. Really, he has the charisma, he has the wrestling ability. He's just got everything, Austin Aries, for me. So hopefully he will be in NXT before long, as well as the likes of Zack Sabre Jr. and Ricochet. And it's a bit of a double-edged sword for me, because I really like these guys and I love what they do in the indie scene. However, by having them in the NXT and WWE, you get to see them a lot more. But at the same time, I don't want the indie scene to sort of suffer for it, if that makes sense. I know, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. I'd love to see Zack Sabre Jr. in NXT and WWE, but at the same time, the gap he'd leave in the indie scene, he'd be irreplaceable for quite a chunk of time. So it's a tricky one, really. James Storm is really he's in a strange one, because he's still working for TNA, I believe. He's still on TNA shows. So for him to do TNA and NXT at the same time is a bit of a strange one. I'm pretty sure Tommaso Ciampa a few months back was actually on NXT and on TNA Impact on the same evening, which I think is the first time anyone's ever done that before. Zack Ryder now bringing James Storm up to his feet and catches him in the backdrop. Big move there by Zack Ryder, now bringing James Storm back up to his feet. And Zack Ryder's doing really well here against James Storm. Was not expecting this. Of course, James Storm was recently in our G1 Climax Festival over in Global Force Wrestling. Be sure to check that one out. There is a link in the description to the playlist. And that was a 8-show pay-per-view. It was a cracking one. We had 4 groups of 5. Everyone faced each other once, and then the winners went through to a semi-final and a final. It really was a top class competition. There were so many fantastic matches in that as well. As James Storm dominating Zack Ryder at this point in the match as well, just choking him out with Zack Ryder back up to his feet. Sending James Storm into the corner. Brings James Storm up onto the top, and what's Zack Ryder looking for here? He's looking to make a name for himself, Zack Ryder, and there's a superplex to the outside. And wow, that's going to make a name for yourself. Of course, everyone's talking about James Storm making his debut here in NXT. And it's Zack Ryder who drops James Storm painfully onto the outside. Now into a gutbuster as well. Referee's counting up to a 3. Zack Ryder brings James Storm back up. And there's a DDT. And a big flapjack as well by Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder actually back on the outside of the ring. I've just thought, you know, one thing I don't recall seeing on this game so far is a special referee match. And that is actually going to ruin one of my playlists. One of my, not playlists, one of my storylines that I had planned if there's no special referee. Gutted. Why have they taken so much out of this game compared to 2K? I can't understand it. I remember watching an interview that I think it might have been Tony Pizza Guy did with one of the developers of 2K16, and they promised that there would be nothing missing from 2K16. If anything, we'd see a lot of new features. And there's just so many match types have disappeared. Backstage brawls are gone, special referees are gone, intergender matches are gone, tag team matches are very limited now, 6-man tag matches are very limited in what you can do as well. The rules screen is gone, so you can't make first blood matches or ultimate submission matches or anything like that. They've really taken so much away from us, and I'm just hoping that at some point they give us something back. And I can't see us getting any more match types this year. I'm thinking that's going to be coming in 2K17, but the amount of money we spend, like I paid £50 for this game, and then I bought the season pass same day for another 30 quid or whatever it was. That's £80 on a game that's just not really at the standard a lot of you would be expecting. There's so many glitches and problems when the game came out, and they're on there. They're fixing a lot of the glitches now as they go along, but for a lot of the match types to disappear as well, it's been very, very frustrating. There are quite a few improvements on the game as well, but for me, they really need to pull their finger out next year, because I don't think they've really done a fantastic job here. James Storm with a bulldog. Don't get me wrong, the created wrestlers are fantastic this year. The graphics are obviously a lot better. The quality of matches are a lot better as well. So they've done a lot to improve it, but at the same time, they need to really pull their finger out next year and just give us more features, give us more match types, and improve the AI in certain match types as well. And it's a few of these little animations that you saw James Storm just do that frustrate me at the same time. There's a reverse Bloody Sunday there by Zack Sabre Jr. by Zack Ryder. 1, 2, and Zack Ryder picks up the victory over James Storm. And there you go. Everyone was talking about James Storm's debut here in NXT this evening. His first appearance on NXT. And it's Zack Ryder who manages to come back and pick up the victory over the big man. So that's going to do wonders for Zack Ryder here. Really going to improve his stock level here in NXT, and maybe even on WWE as well. Of course, he is working both NXT and current day roster more as a sort of... I don't know quite how to... Not as a jobber, but just like someone who's just there available to use if you need him, but not really going to be someone who's involved in a lot of storylines sort of thing. But still, it's a great victory for Zack Ryder against somebody who's a bit out of his league, you would have thought, in the shape of James Storm. James Storm is rated a lot higher than Zack Ryder. But this is for Fandango versus Kevin Owens all over again. If you've seen a few of my other NXT videos, you'll see that Fandango defeated Kevin Owens on an episode of NXT, and then Kevin Owens challenged him to a rematch on NXT TakeOver Arrival Extreme Rules, and Fandango went on and won it again. So yeah, you can never really tell on this game who is going to win. That's a good thing, I suppose. You do get quite a few upset victories. And there's that reverse Bloody Sunday. That's what picked up the victory. The finisher maneuver off Finn Balor, who we will see later on this evening taking on Sami Zayn. But what a great victory that was for Zack Ryder. That's really going to, like I said, boost up his stock here in NXT. Zack Ryder proving that he is not just a jobber. He's here. He's his own man. And he can pick up the big wins when he needs to. And this celebration is a little bit longer than I thought it was. Big win here for Zack Ryder. I wonder if he can follow up with another big victory soon. And here's our next match this evening. It's going to be Sasha Banks taking on Asuka. And here we go. Now, this is a match we've seen quite a few times over the last few months. And I should imagine we'll see it much more because just like I've moved Kevin Owens and Neville and Cesaro and so forth back up onto the main roster, I'm going to be doing the same with the women as well, moving Charlotte and Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch back up to permanent members of the main roster, and we'll have the likes of Asuka, Bayley, Nia Jax, Eva Marie, and a few others that are going to be coming back in pretty soon once we bring in the Divas Tag Division in a couple of weeks' time once the Retro roster is finished. It doesn't mean we won't see the likes of Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch and Charlotte down here again, but they're not going to be permanent members of this NXT women's roster. And again, that's just to really give an opportunity, because it does get a little bit, not necessarily boring, but if you're having two rosters, it would seem a bit pointless to have the same 3 or 4 women at the top of both rosters, because of course the Divas Revolution are probably the best women on the current day roster at the moment, and they're very good compared to the NXT women as well. So it would be you'd have the same people at the top. You'd have the likes of Charlotte, you'd have the likes of Sasha Banks, you'd have the likes of Becky Lynch as well. So just by making them only be able to compete in the current day roster for the Women's Championship would really help keep both rosters a bit more varied. So we are going to have the likes of Alexa Bliss coming back. We're going to have Dana Brooke. We're going to have Athena as well. They're going to be all coming back for our NXT. Well, they're going to come back for our WWE Women's Tag Team Championship division, which will be pretty good. And we're also going to have quite a few... We're going to have a lot of women coming in actually pretty soon, because we're going to have the Global Force Wrestling women coming in. We're going to have the Attitude Era ladies coming in as well. So we're going to have a really different looking roster in the next few weeks. Asuka now with a neck breaker there on Sasha Banks. Big move. Now just slamming the arm of Sasha Banks into the mat as well. Asuka brings Sasha back up to her feet. And a big knee to the face as well. And an arm breaker by Asuka. And of course Asuka did have an opportunity against Charlotte a few weeks back to become the #1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship. It was Charlotte who won that. And Charlotte then went on to win the NXT Women's Championship at the WWE Extreme Rules pre-show, I believe it was. Yes, it was the Extreme Rules pre-show. So I'm pretty sure that Bayley at some point will get a return match for her Women's Championship. That might even be next week, actually. Actually, it's going to be next week. I'm just going to mark that down in my book. Charlotte versus Bayley, NXT Women's Championship. That is next week. And then the week after that is going to be the Vaudevillains. No, it's not going to be Chad Gable. It's going to be Gable and Jordan versus Mechanics for tag titles. So there you go. In our next 2 episodes, we're going to have 2 championship matches. Then we've got a championship match here this evening as well. We've got championship matches galore down here at NXT, and that's what we have to do because of not having pay-per-views very often. But like I said, this is the 1 month where we're not going to have pay-per-views very often. After this, it's going to be every single month. We're going to have TakeOver Tokyo, we've got TakeOver Philly, TakeOver Vegas, TakeOver New York, I think that was on there as well. And there was TakeOver Rumble, which was a Royal Rumble based one. There was TakeOver The Cell, I think, which is a Hell in a Cell based one. There's a lot of really good things that people have thought of on the community creations, and we'll be taking full effect of those. Asuka now with that snap suplex, and Sasha Banks' legs hit that middle rope pretty hard. That's going to be very painful, I think, for Sasha Banks. Asuka spins Banks around. And there's the Saito suplex, taking her down hard. Asuka now spinning Charlotte over. Charlotte? That's Sasha Banks, not Charlotte. I've got Charlotte on the mind. I don't know why, because I'm not a massive Charlotte fan, really, but... There you go. And there's Asuka with a sleeper hold. Likes to use this as one of her finisher maneuvers. Is it going to be enough to finish off Sasha Banks? It's not. Asuka rolls Sasha over into the pin. She goes 1, 2, and Sasha kicks out once again. Asuka with a big kick to the back. And it's amazing. I've got a lot of new cores so far as I've been going through. I keep getting new ones as often as I can just to make sure they look as good as possible. But this Sasha Banks is the one I downloaded on the very first day of release, and I think it is probably the best one out there at the moment. A lot of people have been messaging me, asking me who it was made by, and I honestly cannot remember. But I did just literally, I was on the first page of downloads. I'll tell you what, another big victory here for Asuka over Sasha Banks, and surely she should have to be put at the top of the list for a women's championship match after obviously Charlotte defends against Bayley, and there is a big victory for Asuka, another one over Sasha Banks, and she deserves that. She really has done incredibly well over the past few weeks as Asuka, and I really think that she should get a women's championship match pretty soon. Like I said, we're going to make sure that Charlotte goes back up onto the main roster pretty soon, which makes perfect sense, but at the same time, she can't go back while she still holds the championship. So, of course, she's going to have to lose it to Bayley or lose it to somebody else. At some point, anyway. It's a great match here for Asuka. Like I said, she's really starting to pull together quite a few big victories, and that must be helping her pick up some sort of momentum boost or something along them lines. And I really would, and I don't know how, but I know I've asked people in the past, do any of you out there know how I can change the winning animations? Because I've looked in movesets, I've looked in quite a lot of different sort of places now, and I just can't seem to find the right area to do it in. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like I said, I've looked in movesets, I've looked in the creative screen. I just can't seem to find anywhere to change this winning sort of animation. It's not too bad for Asuka, but I want to change some people's, like Nia Jax has got I think she's got the same winning animation as that one, and of course that just does not suit her whatsoever. And here's our next match this evening. It's going to be Sami Zayn taking on Finn Balor. And here we go. We are underway with two of the top guys here in NXT, and two of the guys I really think of are going to be making their way up onto the main roster within the next 12 months. Both these guys, in my mind, will definitely be on the main roster. I'm thinking, of course, Zayn only just come back from injury very, very recently. But Finn Balor's been knocking around. I just thought that Finn Balor could have easily come up as part of the feud between Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker. Finn Balor coming up as the Demon to help out The Undertaker and Kane. I thought I had a little bit of sense to it, but evidently WWE fought against that. They had other ideas, and there must be something in their minds to bring Finn Balor in. I think I'd like to see either of these two guys make an appearance at Royal Rumble as well. I think Sami Zayn has got an opportunity to come in at the Royal Rumble because he's already been established on the main roster with that match against John Cena where he injured him. No one's really said about the injury, Kevin Owens and things like that, but for me, Sami Zayn injured himself when he launched both his arms up into the air in excitement of coming out on Monday Night Raw. It looked like he dislocated his own shoulder at some point. But yeah, I think it'll be definitely both these guys will be debuting. We know the night after WrestleMania we normally get a couple of debuts, but I think the debuts the night after WrestleMania are not normally going to be big ones. The likes of Bray Wyatt had a lot of build-up for their debut. Kevin Owens did not have a build-up, did he? He just came straight out and it worked perfectly for him. I just don't know if debuting the night after WrestleMania really would give you enough. To build upon. I suppose it all depends on how you debut the night after WrestleMania, to tell the truth, I suppose. And I'd love to see them actually have the Money in the Bank briefcase, the Money in the Bank ladder match, start to take place at WrestleMania again. It's nice to have it as an extra pay-per-view, but I don't think it works as much now. When there was 2 championships and you had to have 2 pay-per-views, it sort of made sense, but now there's only 1 championship and only 1 pay-per-view ongoing. I'm not sure if you actually need a full pay-per-view for it. It's Finn Balor lining up Sami Zayn here for that big drop kick into the corner, and Finn Balor looking to make short work of Sami Zayn now. Finn Balor drop kick in the corner on Zayn. Finn Balor now rolling Sami Zayn over now, going in for the pin. Is this going to be enough to pick up the victory for Finn Balor? And we've not really used a lot of Finn Balor as yet, and I really want to get more out of him. So I think we'll probably use him for a feud, since Finn Balor, of course, is an absolutely immense wrestler. We want to try and use him as much as we can. So I think we'll use him in a feud in this upcoming month. Of course, after our... I think feuds won't start until the week after our Clash of Champions pay-per-view, which of course is going to be week number 4 of this month, and this is only week number 2, so it's 2 weeks away. Not quite sure who we're putting against yet, but I don't know, I'm just leaning towards Baron Corbin, but I think that's what NXT are doing in real life, to tell the truth, Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor. I think the feud would be much better on this game though, because of course Baron Corbin has a lot more moves on this game. Northern Lights suplex there by Sami Zayn, who's coming back into it a bit now. Brings Finn Balor back up to his feet. Zayn catches Balor in the front chancery. There's an uppercut. Finn Balor taking Sami Zayn over the top of his shoulders. Big kick to the stomach of Sami Zayn. And a backhand. And a big drop kick to the side of the head by Finn Balor as well. Balor really in control of this one. And Balor's now on the outside and he's looking to make a statement here. Maybe taking the top off the announce table. Not a very face thing to do. And that's one thing I did discuss in my episode of Global Force Wrestling yesterday, if you've not seen it. Basically, I have noticed that that I've had problems with feuds in the past. I don't know if you guys remember this. I'm creating feuds and the screen is deleting them straight away for me. And I've noticed that feuds will only work if it's a championship feud, it'll work perfectly, and the rest of the feuds have to be between faces and heels. So Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin would work because Finn Balor's a face, Baron Corbin's a heel. Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn would not work because both are faces, so the game would probably delete that. So if, like me, you're having issues with feuds, then be sure to check that out, because that might just be the same as what happened to me. Blue Thunder Bomb there by Sami Zayn, middle of the ring. Decides against going for the pin, but now he does go for the pin. 1, 2, and no, Finn Balor kicks out on the brink of 3. Sami Zayn can't believe it, he thought he had it there and then. Big elbow there by Finn Balor. Now brings Sami Zayn up. There's the reverse Bloody Sunday. That is how Zack Ryder defeated James Storm earlier this evening. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2, and no, referee. Referee, your hand hit the mat 3 times, and I saw that. Everyone saw that. And I cannot believe. Wow. It looks like he may have been completely ripped off here, I think. Finn Balor going up top though, looking to finish things off, looking for the coup de grace. There it is, the big double foot stomp. In for the pin he goes on Sami Zayn. 1, 2, oh my word. Sami Zayn actually kicked out that quicker than what he did just the Bloody Sunday. Incredible resilience being shown here by Sami Zayn. He should have been down and out of this one already. Now it's Finn Balor going for the underhook brainbuster. And surely this time, surely referee this time. 1, 2, and 3. And there you go. Finn Balor does pick up the victory over Sami Zayn. And what a big win here for Finn Balor. It's going to help boost him up the singles rankings here in NXT as well. 2 of the biggest guys in NXT, probably the 2 biggest guys in NXT at the moment. And the likes of Rhino, Corbin, Cruz and Rich Swan coming up in the next match are all up there. But I don't think they're quite on par with these two. Of course, we've got Hideo Itami, the current NXT champion. He'll have to be a pretty big name as well. And like I said, we're looking to maybe get Itami to defend that NXT championship at some point. Not sure whether we'll do it before the pay-per-view or not. I'm unsure. I am unsure. You see Finn Balor going up to the top rope here. And the way that feuds work then, it would mean that the... would it mean that Hideo Itami would have to defend against... No, because it's a title feud. Because it's a title feud, you can do face versus face. But I think it works better if it's face versus heel. Because I've had problems with feuds being deleted and things like that halfway through the month as well. So I think if we stick to face versus heel from now on, I think it'll definitely work. But I don't think we have many heels in NXT at the moment. We've got Rhino, we've got Corbin. Zayn and Balor are both face. Cruz is a face. Obviously Samoa Joe is playing a heel, but we haven't got that downloadable content yet. They've still not said when the DLC is being released. Of course, we had one the other day, but we're still waiting for the rest. And here is our next match. It is the Fatal 4-Way as Rhino takes on Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, and Rich Swan. And here we go. These four guys, one of them is really gonna boost themselves up the singles rankings here. Who could it be? It looks like Rhino and Apollo Crews are staying on the inside of the ring, and Apollo Crews rolling Rhino through them, bringing him back up into a big powerbomb. Showing off there a little bit with the strength. And Apollo Crews is really somebody that I am a massive fan of. I've met him in real life a couple of times as well. Really, really nice guy. And he deserves everything he's really getting. He's such a hard worker. Traveled the world showing off his wrestling ability, obviously as Uhaa Nation. And like I said, such a nice guy. Takes the time to speak to all of his fans. And I went to see him in a I think it was a show a couple of years ago in Nottingham. He wrestled twice on the same day, and he really was just incredible. He's such a strong man, but such an agile man at the same time. I've never seen anyone who can gorilla press and standing shooting star press. He was just insane. But that is the hybrid that is Apollo Crews, and I don't think it'll be too long before he makes his way up onto the main roster. Baron Corbin throwing Rich Swan straight into the barricade. Now Baron Corbin continuing to attack Rich Swan on the outside and launches him over the top of his shoulder. And remember, Fatal 4-Way matches are no disqualification, which is why Rhino has a baseball bat. And a baseball bat straight to the middle of the face of Apollo Crews, then across the back of the leg as well. And that's not a great situation for Apollo Crews to be in. Rhino rolling Crews over, going to go in for a pin. 1, 2, only enough for a 2 count. You'd think with the attack with the baseball bat that might have got a bit further. You thought he might have got a 3 count there, but evidently not, as Rhino now continuing the assault with the elbows to the forehead of Apollo Crews. And maybe Rhino could be the one to get an opportunity at the NXT Championship. Of course, like I said, it's going to have to be a heel, I should imagine, to take on Hideo Itami. And again, Rhino so close to a 3 count. And I think our two main heels are the two guys in the ring at the moment, Baron Corbin and Rhino. Corbin now taking Rhino into a little snap suplex. As Rich Swan now taking Apollo Crews to the outside. The two more agile members of the match are now on the outside, and the two big, stronger guys. I say big, stronger guys. Of course, Apollo Crews is probably one of the stronger guys in the match. Baron Corbin in for the pin now. Rhino 1, 2. It's only enough for a 2 count. As Apollo Crews just launching Rich Swan straight into the ring post. And I think Apollo Crews and Rich Swan, could be a very good tag team for NXT. Of course, Rich Swan was in a tag team alongside Ricochet for a while in the indie scene, known as the Inner City Machine Guns. And I think it'd be great to have these two as a tag team, actually. It might be a way to get them both involved in the card a bit more. And the same with Baron Corbin and Rhino. They have been a tag team in the past as part of the Dusty Rhodes Classic. And we will be doing the Dusty Rhodes Classic tag team tournament. La-di-da-di-da thing all again at some point. I was annoyed with that, though, I must admit. I was annoyed with the Dusty Rhodes. I wasn't annoyed. It was a really good idea for a tournament, but for me, if it's a tag team tournament, I think the team that wins should be a genuine tag team. The fact that Finn Balor and Samoa Joe won, that just for me, it kind of took away from it. I just thought that an actual tag team should have won it. I thought that someone like the Vaudevillains or someone like Enzo and Cass or the Mechanics or the Lucha Dragons or the Ascension, somebody like that should have won it. It shouldn't have gone that way for me. There's the big frog splash by Rich Swan on Apollo Crews, and Rich Swan picks up the 3 count. Rhino was too slow in the ring, and Rich Swan, good old Rich Swan, another one I've actually met a couple of years ago at a Southside Wrestling event. Another incredible wrestler, the man who can complete a standing 450, and he's picked up a huge victory here in this Fatal 4 match. Now that's really going to boost him up the rankings, and I think we might end up having another sort of match to try and define our #1 contender for the NXT Championship. I don't think it does have to be a heel, in all fairness. I think championship feuds can be between two faces, can be between two heels or whatever, but I think I can feel another sort of Fatal 4 match or another 6-man over the top rope battle royal or something along them sort of lines in the next few weeks to really decide who our #1 contender is going to be going forward. So week number 2 now. Is that week number 3? That's week number 4. Okay. So I'm just trying to identify how we're going to do it. But that's a great win. That is for Rich Swan. That's really going to help him in the rankings here. Like I said, not just in the NXT title, but you've got the NXT Television Championship as well. And there is the frog splash on Apollo Crews, one of his big finishers. And I'd like to see... Yeah, you know what? I think Rich Swan and Apollo Crews could be a good tag team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think that Rich Swan and Apollo Crews as a tag team would work? Let me know what you think, and we might even try and bring it in pretty soon. And here we are with our main event this evening. Tyler Breeze defends his NXT Television Championship against Tyson Kidd. The following match is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the NXT Television Championship. Making his way to the ring first is the challenger, being accompanied to the ring by Natalya. It's Tyson Kidd. Now, Tyson Kidd gained this opportunity last week when he defeated Fandango in the #1 contendership match, and I know some of you sat there thinking, now Fandango is in the #1 contendership match. Yes, that's because, like I said earlier on, Fandango did defeat Kevin Owens twice in the space of 2 weeks, and I really think he deserved that opportunity to go for the #1 contendership, and that is what we did. And yeah, it's built up to this match here this evening, our first championship match. We're going to have, like I said, 3 championship matches in the next few weeks. Of course, we've got this one here this evening. Next week we're going to have the NXT Women's Championship match, and the week after that we're going to have the NXT Tag Team Championship match. So we're really going to be showing off some gold over the next few weeks. And then the week after that we're probably going to decide our NXT Championship #1 contender going forward to our next takeover event. I'm not quite sure what our next takeover event is. I've got a feeling it's Takeover Brooklyn. I'm not 100% sure though. And next to enter the fray is going to be your NXT Television Champion. It's Tyler Breeze, being accompanied to the ring by Summer Rae. Holy crap. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. The Man United game's just kicked off, and I've got it on a little television next to me, and it's 2 minutes in, they've just walloped it against the crossbar. Whew. I know I shouldn't be dating these videos by saying what's going on in the real life at the same time, but because of course this is not going to get uploaded for a couple of days yet, and I'm watching the Man United game on the Monday, so right. So yeah, Tyler Breeze his second defense of this NXT championship. He did defend it. He did defend it a couple of weeks back at the NXT TakeOver Arrival pay-per-view, and he also got to pick the stipulation for that match. And the stipulation he picked was loser leave town, and that is why Solomon Crow, or Sami Callihan now as he's known, has been sacked from NXT. So Tyler Breeze was fully behind that. And now he has to defend his championship once again. This time against Tyson Kidd, who I think might be a bit more of a challenge for him, you know. It's going to be a really interesting match, this. This could really go either way. But if Tyler Breeze could win this, it would really cement him as a hell of a champion. Now, I'm not sure if we should consider removing Tyler Breeze from NXT as well. Of course, he is a main roster guy now. I don't know whether I'm not entirely sure if he's still in NXT as well. I'll have to wait and see what happens. But at the moment, he's the television champion, so there's no chance of getting rid of him at the moment. So here we go, Tyler Breeze, Tyson Kidd, NXT Television Championship. Who is going to win this one? Will we have a brand new champion here this evening? Or will Tyler Breeze be able to pick up his second successful championship defense? Big punching blows to the back of Tyler Breeze. Now Tyson Kidd rolls him over. Breeze back up to his feet. There's a Hurricane Rana by Tyler Breeze, really showing off what he can do, and then some big punches to the face of Tyson Kidd as well. And it's Tyler Breeze really taking the opening advantage in this match. And remember, we do have the two ladies at ringside. We have Natalya and we have Summer Rae. Both these women could really do something here. They could really be involved. We've seen Summer Rae is not afraid in getting involved in some of Tyler Breeze's matches. And yeah, this has been sort of ruined for me, because I did have a plan on a way we could really make a feud between these two couples going forward. Because the backstage brawl has now disappeared, it sort of ruined it for me. I think I have a way of doing it, but I think it could take place at NXT TakeOver Arrival. I'm going to keep that one in mind, because I think I can do that. Not NXT TakeOver Arrival, it's going to be NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, I think it is. Tyler Breeze now got spin round by Tyson Kidd, now dropped into a backdrop. And I normally get confused between people's names as it is, but having Tyler Breeze and Tyson Kidd in the same ring at the same time is going to be a bit of a pain for me, I think. I've done okay so far. Chop at a big right hand by Tyson, and then Tyler Breeze just throwing the other right hand away now. Brings Tyson Kidd straight in for a DDT. There's the pin. 1, 2. Only enough for a 2 count. There's the big lifting style DDT by Tyler Breeze, who's firmly in control of this one. At the moment, it's looking like it's going to be a successful title defense here for him. We'll have to wait and see what happens, of course, though. Because Tyson Kidd is back in. Tyler Breeze fights him over that boot to the face, and now Tyson with the snapmare. Now locking in the headlock. What does Tyson have planned here? Is it enough to keep Tyler Breeze down? That's the big question. Tyler Breeze, a couple of big elbows to the gut of Tyson Kidd. Tyson throws Kidd. See, I'm losing it now. I'm starting to lose it now. German suplex by Tyson Kidd on Tyler Breeze. And now Kidd's up top. A big moonsault on Tyler Breeze. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2. It's only a 2 count. And so far, Summer Rae and Natalya have not really been involved in the match too much, which is probably a good thing, really. You know what, I can see this actually being a feud we could take forward all the way through to our next pay-per-view. And I think I might just do that. But like I say, I was going to hopefully use a backstage brawl at some point just to just to build up the feud. It'll have to be a manual feud because I do have a big plan for the way it should end. And there is a big super backdrop there by Tyson Kidd on Tyler Breeze. And there's a stroke style complete shot move. Now Kidd rolling Tyler Breeze over, drops an elbow into the chest. Brings Breeze back up to his feet. And you see Summer Rae now has the distraction on Tyson Kidd, and that allows Tyler Breeze to grab a hold of him, catch him in the shin breaker. And there's a super kick by Tyler Breeze as well. Massive move there. In for the pin. 1, 2. And no, it's only enough for a 2 count. It was close to a 3 though. And Tyler Breeze still in full control of this one. And there's the beauty shot. And that could be all. Tyler now bringing... No, he's not. I thought he was going to go for the pin there, but he decides to go up top. Here's an elbow drop for Tyson Kidd. And surely you got to pin him after that. Surely another elbow drop to the chest. And why is Tyler Breeze not going for the pin? He hit the beauty shot. Tyson Kidd's back up. He has been busted open by that beauty shot as well. Now Tyler Breeze locking in the sleeper hold. Big elbow to the gut there by Tyson Kidd, but Breeze catches him and spins him round into a neck breaker. In for the pin goes Breeze finally. 1, 2, and 3. And there you go. It is a successful championship defense here for Tyler Breeze. And it was I'm not going to say a one-sided match, but I was pretty much 75% sure that Breeze was going to come through that one unscathed. He really dominated such a chunk of it. Summer Rae did distract Tyson Kidd at one point, which allowed Tyler Breeze to turn the match back round in his favour. And Tyler Breeze has now got a successful second championship defence under his belt, now defeated both Sami Callihan and Tyson Kidd for that championship belt. He's really starting to build himself up now. He should get a nice little momentum boost for that as well. I do think you get a slight momentum boost just for being the champion, you know. And I think that should be a thing on the game. I think you should get a boost just for being the champion, just to try and reduce the amount of championship changes there are in the game. There's the super kick by Tyler Breeze. That was pretty early on. I thought that could have been enough there and then, but it was only enough to keep him down for a 2 count. Very close to a 3 though. And here's that neck breaker by Tyler Breeze. Now, like I said, this thing is going to be a feud that we can try and take forward towards our next pay-per-view here in NXT. And it is something that I do have a plan to do, and I really like the idea. And it involves... I'm not going to give away too much detail, but it does involve a legend. That's all I'm going to say. Tyler Breeze, still your NXT television champion. What a great win for him. And what a great way to end a really good episode of NXT as well. So that is the end of this episode. I hope you have all enjoyed it. And of course, if you have, be sure to hit that like button. It does help me out a lot. Makes the video easier to find and the channel grows and all that sort of shebang. And that's really what we're aiming for. And of course, if you are new around here, then be sure to hit that subscribe button for a lot more WWE 2K16 footage. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you all next time.